the Detroit area. He played with a band called Steppin' In for many years, and he's a great songwriter. And he made an album called A Miracle of Birds, which he wrote last year when he was with a group that was trying to run a marathon through the West Bank. And he went with them, and he wrote this album about a kind of crisis of conscience that he was having within himself and within his family. And he tried to create a place of moral reflection and a place of communion in the middle of this. And he made a great record. I really recommend it. And I got a chance to hear him play it last night in Lansing. And he asked me to play some songs in the beginning, and I played a song. This is a song that I wrote last year, and it's on a new album about this conflict. You know, it's a song of questions and a song of, and I mean this inner conflict. My friend Eric Drucker, who's a great artist, he lives in Berkeley, he said the other day, there's a Cold War going on in the Jewish family. There's a cold, especially amongst American Jews, I've felt this. It's different in Israel. It's different everywhere else.
What is Yetzer Hora, Yetzer Tov, the internal Jewish struggle?
Yeah, but the eternal Jewish struggle, I mean, debate and disagreement and division have been more functionally part of Jewish life in the past than they are now.
Yeah, but just biblically to say that we were created with one side to do good, one side to do bad.
Now we don't want to talk about it. I mean...
Yeah, and now we don't want to. But now we don't want to talk about it. I mean, everybody thinks that there's one side that's good and one side that's bad, but everybody has a different version of who's good and who's bad. And when you're dealing with an issue like that's a truly political but historical and issue that has so much to do with Trump. No, it's all right. No, it's Aaron. I want to hear. Go on. Let's talk.
Right? No, I think.
Go ahead, man. As long as you're not scared of the camera.
I mean, there's a reason why in America it's different, because America is Israel's. Not only is politically is America Israel's, sort of sponsor and eternal ally or whatever, but we in Jewish culture in this country have elevated Israel in a way that, to me, confuses like reality and mythology in a really weird way.
Well, I agree.
That's because Christians see the Jew as the other. I mean, even Christians consist of billions of people, but to the Christian, the other is the Jew. So, like, as a Jew, even if you're religious or secular, you're still looked upon from the Christian as the other.
On the other hand, I think that one thing that we need to get away from is talking about Christians or Americans or Israel or Jews as one thing. It's about for me, it's about the tone of the conversation between many different people and many different orientations, and there's just been a real split, There's certain things there are a lot of spaces where it's not safe to even talk about things. And I don't know, I
think you do know, I think the catharsis that exists in your music is that it allows us for some complexity, where some things don't.
But complexity is precisely what's missing, I think.
If it wasn't music, we'd be killing each other.
Well, we are killing each other, and we have music. I forget what I think.
Much more frequently.
People sing about peace and love, yet they produce war and hate. So maybe if we sang about war and hate, then we would have the opposite effect. And they're like a dark industrial death metal band. I think. I just think that it's about being allowed to imagine, being allowed to dissent, and
That's also the quintessential, the Jew's the one who refused to bow. You know, like the poem we just had, like, no matter what, if you try to force something upon the Jew, a proper Jew will choose death as opposed to obeying the bad decree.
Yeah, but that's, yeah, I mean, that's like one ideal, but that's not, that doesn't describe me, and I feel Jewish, you know, it's like, I think,
You know, they said that, you know, that there's, you know, you had a debate between Shammai and Hillel, and that was, you know, there were two great schools, but it was deemed to be a debate of love because it was about the same thing. You also have a debate where people, the Christian Jew, where it's a debate against philosophies, and it might be a debate of evil. So there, you can have debates that are, where you have differences, but it's a difference in love because you have the same common ground. And so that's what we have to learn, is that we can have debates of love. We can have a difference between opinions and stuff like that, but we can all look for the same outcome and deal with the same state of mind and the same heart.
We gotta love your agitator. As opposed to hating your agitator, you have to learn to love your agitator.
right, which sounds pretty Christian to me.
However,
But that's it, that's the love of Israel. The Christian love of Israel is the love of their agitator.
I don't think it's so complicated because you've got the voices that are coming from within the Jewish community who identify as Jews very strongly and are very clear that they love, you know, they have this love and this real trouble with where we're at. And, you know, they're the people being shut down. I mean, no one is... And we're not saying anything particularly, you know, destructive, but...
I know. It's tough. It's changing, though, I hope. Look, I want to sing a song for you. Let me just sing a song, and then we'll sing another song.
This ideal is driving people out.
But no, because...
They'd rather just fall into the hypnotism of music than
I
actually
want to keep
think.
having this talk, but
It's
I
just
want
that
you to know...
hypnotic music
I don't want to
as
get too
opposed to
far
thought.
away from what I was trying to say. My point was, like, I come from the suburbs of Detroit, you know? And I grew up with... This is a song that usually I just give some metaphorical, very vague introduction, like what I said, like there's a Cold War going on between Jews, there's like, you know, splits within the family. And this is actually a very literal song. This is about a guy that I grew up with, who I considered very close to me and from a very similar place, and he ended up completely changing his life, changing his name, moving to Israel and becoming the media spokesperson for the IDF and the director of a group that is throwing people out of their homes in order to dig biblically based archaeological digs. And I just don't understand that, like, just because it's not my thing. And so I wrote a song about that. Took your name all the way to the desert, and you were chained in the name of your Lord. You gave your word unto Zion, and your hand to the sword. We were the sons of American plenty. Your mother held me as her own. We grew to cross many borders, different roads, different homes.